tares bundled and burned during the great tribulation. Matthew 13:30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Most today do not understand that the tares are sown during the great tribulation hour. The tares are sown in the midst of the wheat harvest. Understand, the wheat cannot be sown until first the barley is sown in the fall and harvested in the spring. Here we see types of the fall of man and the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The wheat is not sown until the spring and harvested in the summer, which speaks of God's wrath being poured out. This is why we see the Lord saying to his beloved bride, "Arise, my love, and come away." He is warning her to come away, because summer is approaching, the harvest and trampling of the grapes. Notice the Lord is not saying this to the daughters of Jerusalem, the church. He's saying this to his beloved bride, that loves him with all her heart, mind, soul and body. The bride is not lukewarm, she's on fire and burns with holy fear for her Lord. She is a bright and shining light. She is not sleeping as the wise virgins, she's fully awake and making herself ready. Revelation 19:7. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. The bride of Christ will be translated, or caught up to the throne of God in the first watch during the time before the barley is harvested. The bride is not the barley harvest as a whole, she is the first fruits that comes out of the barley harvest. After the bride first fruits is caught up to the throne of God, Revelation 12:5, the church will be left behind, to prepare for her flight between the second watch and the third watch of the night. This is why Jesus said, "And if ye shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants." Luke 12:38. The church will be caught up right at midnight. They will arise and trim their lamps, and refill with fresh oil. Matthew 25:6. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bride and groom cometh, go ye out to meet them. Once the church, the barley harvest, is caught up into the middle of the air, the remnant of her seed, the wheat, will be left behind, to go through great tribulation and be headed for their testimony of Jesus Christ. Revelation 7:13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? Revelation 7:14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. It's during this time that the tares are sown among the wheat. This is where we see the angels come forth and bundle the tares during their great tribulation hour. It's going to get so bad on earth that God will have to send forth his holy angels to reap the harvest of the wheat and gather into the Lord's barn. Matthew 13:30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Matthew 3:12. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Notice John says he's gathering the wheat, not the barley. Since the barley has already been harvested, all that's left is the wheat, and tares to be bundled and burned in the fire. Last but not least, the harvest of the grapes. Revelation 14:18. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Revelation 14:14. And I looked, and behold a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Revelation 14:15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle, and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Revelation 14:16. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in a sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Revelation 14:17. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. Revelation 14:18. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Revelation 14:19. And the angel thrust in a sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. Revelation 14:20. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs.